This is X. Anderson, and welcome to the Principal Podcast today. So today I'm going to share with you the best dad advice, the best relationship advice that I know ever. And I'm going to share with you kind of vulnerably, the best dad advice I know of is actually in Matthew 5-7, which is one of the books in the Bible. And it's called the Sermon on the Mount. Now, I got to warn you, the Sermon on the Mount is not something that's easy to read. Let me read a quote from C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis used to be an atheist. He became a believer in Jesus Christ, and he was a smart guy, totally smart guy. And I could go and share a lot more about him. But he was a professor at Oxford, which is might be similar to Harvard in the United States. And he went from being like I said, an atheist, not believing, to believing in Jesus Christ. One of the things, though, he said about the Sermon on the Mount, I'm going to quote it here. He said, "As to caring for the Sermon on the Mount, if caring for here means liking or enjoying, I suppose no one cares for it. Who can like being knocked flat on his face by a sledgehammer?" And then he said this, he goes, "I can hardly imagine a more deadly spiritual condition than that of a man who can read that passage with tranquil pleasure." When you read this, it might make you uncomfortable. I'm going to give you a warning. Matthew 5-7 may make you uncomfortable. But that being said, it has the best relationship advice I have ever heard for having a good marriage, for having a good relationship with your children, being a good dad. And I challenge you to read it. It's got the principle. Like, if you want to learn principles about how to have a good relationship, try reading Matthew 5-7. Just realize that it may not be easy to read. That's my tip of the day. Thanks for listening to the Principal Podcast. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Principal Podcast today. Sign up for my newsletter specifically geared towards helping you be an awesome dad, an awesome parent, to be able to better lead, love, and influence your family and children at xsane.com/subscribe. That's xsane.com/subscribe. It's spelled EKSAYN.com/subscribe. This newsletter is going to give you tips about how to be a great dad, with the links in the show notes. But whatever you do, remember that what you do in your own home will have more influence than anything else you do in the world. Thanks again for listening today.